Hey, what's up, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about the Packers' latest signing and then a contract restructure and what that means for the Packers this year and what it could potentially mean for the Packers this year. Anyways, let's get into it. Who did the Packers sign? Packers signed somebody to the practice squad. It is Michael Jordan. Before you say, seriously, you're telling us about a signing to the practice squad, hear me out. I feel like this signing is more than just a practice squad type of guy. If you don't know who Michael Jordan is, Michael Jordan is a 6'6", 315-pound fifth-year guy, right? He was an All-American, first-team All-American out of Ohio State, selected in the fourth round in the 2019 draft by the Cincinnati Bengals, where he spent 2 years there, and then before heading over to Carolina to spend 2 years there. He has 29 career starts, two of them last year, right? He only started 2 games last season, but he has 29 overall starts in the NFL. So this guy is not raw. He's not new. Packers obviously see something in Michael Jordan, and I think it's going to be more than just adding some depth to the practice squad. I think you're going to see him maybe adding some depth to the offensive line. He is a right guard. However, so Luke Buckus, we all know Luke Buckus has got a great history of um, his bringing along offensive linemen. Obviously, has great history of that in Green Bay. So I think they see a lot of potential in Michael Jordan. Hence, them going out to get him. They do release tight end Austin Allen to bring him onto the practice squad. But we'll get into. I think there's a bigger reason behind that, and that happens to coincide with a contract restructure. Let's get into the contract restructure. The Packers do restructure a contract with offensive lineman Josh Nyman. So let's get into, according to ESPN's Field Yates, the team has converted a portion of offensive lineman Josh Nyman's contract into a signing bonus while adding 4 void years onto his 1-year tender, per Yates. This move creates $2.54 million in cap space for the Green Bay Packers. It also goes on to say that Nyman will now make around $1.1 million this year in salary, while around $3.2 million hits his bank account immediately in the form of a signing bonus. After the $2.54 million in cap savings is accounted for, the Packers should be in the ballpark of an $11.5 million in cap space for the remainder of the season. That number would rank 6th in the NFL for the most cap space in the league, just behind the Carolina Panthers. What Green Bay plans to do with that cap space has yet to be reported. So I personally feel like they are going to use Josh Nyman as trade bait for teams like New York Jets or whatever, guys that are teams that need help desperately at the offensive lineman's position. I think that going and getting a guy like Michael Jordan, now mind you, he isn't a tackle, but when you got a guy like Rasheed Walker, who is a swing tackle, and he's ahead of Josh Nyman on the depth chart. I feel like, they're planning on Rasheed Walker filling that void. They really like what they see out of Rasheed Walker. Rasheed Walker has shown a lot, whether it be in training camp or whatever. So I think that they bring in a guy like Michael Jordan to add more depth, maybe use Josh Nyman as trade bait, and then who knows what they do, with that 11.5 million out there in cap space. Do they go out and sign somebody? We all know, all the skeptics out there, of Gutekunst isn't going to be that guy that's going to go out and sign somebody. I happen to beg to differ. I feel like we're either this year or in next year, we're going to see a signing of sorts. We all know, we all hope that it's nobody. Obviously, it's not going to be somebody like a Stephon Diggs, but those rumors were out there. Somebody like that would be toxic, I think, for the environment in Green Bay. But going out and get a defensive guy or whatever, time will tell. I think the Packers, I think this is a good move for them. I think Michael Jordan is going to be a good asset to them once they can coach him along. And I think Luke Buckus is a perfect fit for that. Anyways, guys, subscribe, leave your comments. What do you think of this signing? Also, the restructure of Josh Nyman's contract and what that means for the Packers. Go Packers.